Good evening, everyone. It is February 18th, 2025. It is 6 p.m. And we're going to call, no, it's actually 6:01 p.m. We're going to call to order this meeting of the Gallatin City Council. We begin each of our meetings with the invocation, the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to ask Councilman Pastor Alexander to offer the prayer this evening, and Councilman Fan to lead us in the pledge, if you would. If you stand with me, please.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for your hand of protection over us, and God, not just in this hour, but the hours to come. Father, we ask you to watch over our city and its workers and residents, God, that you would keep us from harm's way in this storm. Father, tonight we ask for your presence in this place, God, and that we would have your peace about decisions that need to be made. We pray all these things in the strong name of Jesus. Amen.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Daniel, would you call the roll for us, please?
Yes, Mayor. Vice Mayor Hayes.
Present.
Councilman Alexander.
Present.
Councilman Carter.
Present.
Councilman Fan.
Here.
Councilman Fennell.
Here.
Councilman Jones.
Here.
And Councilman Javance. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Everybody's here. Thank y'all for being here. This evening, you have two sets of minutes for you to consider for approving. The first is from January 21, the second from February 4.
Motion to approve both.
Motion to approve both sets of minutes by Vice Mayor Hayes.
Second.
Second by Councilman Alexander. Are there any additions or corrections requested by anyone? Seeing none, all in favor of approving both sets of minutes, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Both sets of minutes are unanimously approved. We'll now go to public recognition on agenda-related items. This is the time of the meeting that you can come and speak to any item that's on the evening's agenda. There's also a time at the end of the meeting where you can speak to items that aren't on the agenda. But you'll have 5 minutes to speak. We ask for your name and your address for the record. And I think with that, public recognition on agenda-related items is now open, and you may come forward if you'd like to speak. Seeing no one jumping from their seat, public recognition on agenda-related items is closed. We'll move to mayor's comments. I certainly do want to say thank you to the departments that worked this past weekend, dealing with some flooding issues, not to the severity that we've had in the past, but looking out for the things that need to be looked out for in our city and working hard over the weekend as they needed to. Certainly, I know Mr. DePriest and Public Works, they are working around the clock starting now, and they've got their next crew coming in at 7. They'll be working overnight and working to clear the snow once it falls. And as you've seen, they have prepped the roads and the sidewalks and the parking lot and lots of things. So hopefully the weather won't be as bad as some fear, and at best it will be weather that some people actually enjoy. Me not being one of them. A few events upcoming: the Sumner Academy Dinner and Auction and the Gallatin Shalom Zone Sneaker Ball are both this Saturday. The Volunteer State Archaeological Society of Tennessee Artifact Show is this Saturday at the Civic Center from 8 until 3. Saturday, the 24th and the 27th are Red Cross blood drives at the Civic Center from 11 until 4. The Chamber's legislative update happens on the 28th with Representatives Lamberth, Hale, Garrett, and Slater at the station, 7:30 to 9. Breakfast at the American Legion is from 7 to 10 on the 1st. And then coming up on the 3rd and 4th of March is the TML Legislative Conference. And then Chuck Stewart's birthday is on the 6th. With that, we'll move to the regular agenda. Item number 1 on the regular agenda is second reading on ordinance 02501-7. Vice Mayor Hayes is recognized for that.
This is an ordinance awarding the bid for the Sumner County Regional Water Transmission Main Project, Line D. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Hayes, second by Councilman Javance. Are there any questions, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of second reading on ordinance 02501-7, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Passes second reading unanimously. Item number 2 is second reading on ordinance 02501-8, and for it, Councilman Javance is recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. It's an ordinance appropriating $4,044.71 to Parks and Rec from insurance recovery, and I so move.
Motion by Councilman Juvent, second by Councilman Carter. Any questions, any discussion? It's second reading on ordinance 02501-8. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Passes unanimously. Item 3 is first reading on ordinance 02502-9. Councilman Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. An ordinance appropriating insurance recovery in the amount of $1,750 for replacement of brick mailbox at Gallatin Public Works. Make a motion?
Second.
Motion by Councilman Jones, second by Councilman Carter?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any discussion, any questions? All right. First reading on ordinance 02502-9. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Passes first reading unanimously. Item 4 is first reading on ordinance 02502-10. Councilman Alexander.
Thank you, Mayor. It's an ordinance appropriating funds for required safety footwear. So move.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Alexander, second by Councilman Juvent. Are there any questions, any discussion? Okay, it's first reading on ordinance 02502-10. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Passes unanimously. Item 5 is resolution R2502-4. Councilman Carter.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a resolution authorizing the Parks and Recreation Department to apply for a Lowe's Hometown Grant. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Carter, second by Councilman Juvent. Any questions, any discussion? Okay, it's resolution R2502-4. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Passes unanimously. Item 6, resolution R2502-5. Councilman Fennell.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a 6th supplemental resolution to the master resolution pertaining to water and sewer revenue obligations, authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $30,200,000 in aggregate principal amount of water and sewer system revenue improvement bonds. Series 2025 of the City of Gallatin, Tennessee, making provisions for the issuance, sale, and payment of said bonds and establishing their terms thereof and the disposition of proceeds therefrom. Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman Fennell, second by Councilman Carter. Opening the floor for questions or discussion. Councilman Juvent.
Thank you, Mayor. Like I said last week, I think the language is too vague and open to possible use of fund for what it's not intended to. So I would like to make an amendment to the language, something like, Susan probably can arrange it better than I do, but I would like to make an amendment that the money will be dispersed to be used for the new water plant project, and that money will not in any case use to supplement the finance for the Sumner County Regional Water Project. Because I want to make sure we use that money for what it's.
I don't think in a resolution for issuing a bonds that we need to say what it's not for. I mean, that doesn't.
So just the water plant, the new water plant project.
Well, I mean, you're making the motion, I'm not. I mean, Ms. Nichols and I both explained why we weren't supportive of that last week, so.
What is the motion? I didn't understand it.
To be used only for the,
Okay.
and not, technically not for,
Anything else?
yeah.
Now, are you amending the definition of project? I think last week that is what you'd said you were trying to amend. Okay.
Because it's too vague. That means we do a bond for the water plant project, and now if something happens somewhere and that money is to be used for something else, I think.
So the scenario that you would create, let me clear this, let me contest what you're saying. The scenario that you would create was, say we borrowed this amount of money for the water plant, it came in under budget, well, then we couldn't spend that money. the extra dollars.
And it has to be used for the system, regardless.
But
Do you know,
he's trying to carve out where in the system it can't be
Right.
used.
I just wanted
Yeah.
to explain that it has to be used for the system. We couldn't use it for another project. It would have to be used for this purpose.
but it's not clear in the bond. That means nothing, it doesn't say anywhere in the definition of the bond it's going to be used for the water plant project. It say used for, I don't remember the exact language, but
Improvements to the system.
improvement to the system. So, that means improvement to the system, we have the regional expansion, that's an improvement for the system. So that means
It says extension and improvements to the system.
exactly. So the Sumner Regional, the one we're expanding everywhere, that's an expansion. So the money could be used for that, and that's a different thing. I don't see why, again, we get on a hook. If we do a bond for a project, that should be for that project.
Well, I didn't draft this resolution, but someone who is a bond attorney, that's all they do, drafted this. And they do draft it, as Ms. Nichols explained last week, they draft it pretty broadly so that if it did come in, this is phase one. And if they can then use some of the money for phase two, we don't have to refund this and go back and start over.
Borrow.
And so that's the purpose of it being defined, broadly. It's done that way purposefully. And I think you have to be able to trust that the department head that's requesting this is going to use it for the purpose for which he said it's going to be used for. And that's just the way that the bonds are typically. I'm not saying I'm for or against it, I'm explaining why it's drafted the way it is.
But the excuse of going under, when for all these years past, have we seen a project who came underfunded? That means we've seen what happened in a park. We had to allocate a lot of money more just for one building. So that's never going to care.
That's not true, it has.
I just think that if we do, it's too vague, and that's how I think. If you borrow money at a bank to build a house, they use that money to build a house, and it's written black and white. That's what you borrow the money for. Here, we borrow the money for expansion of the system. So, like I say, if there is something, again, that money needs to be used for the plant, but that's not what the bond says. The bond opens the door to use for a lot more than that. And
No, it says for the system, and it is an initial phase of a system that's going to take a lot more money. So it's,
It's really not true, because if you got a line of credit, they don't always tell you what you have to spend it on.
well, but again, but you're digging a hole trying to compare the bond market to taking a personal
My
loan.
question is, if this is a $30 million bond and we come in at 28 million, is he saying he wants the other 2 million to go strictly for this purpose?
Well, he don't want to go for the regional water project, is what he specifically said. But when you talk about us borrowing this amount of money, and then we probably get a premium on top of it, and then we know we have more system improvements coming after this, this just keeps that money rolling towards our system. So, in my opinion. But you're the one that wants to offer an amendment, and so we're debating something that hasn't even been fully formulated, I don't think.
I think he made a motion.
No, he was looking for help with the verbiage on the amendment. I said that I didn't think we should mention what it shouldn't be funded, what it couldn't fund.
I'm sorry, I thought he made a motion to amend.
He did.
I did.
Okay. You want to repeat your motion to amend then?
The money will be dispersed to be used for the new water plant project, and that money will not to be in any case used for the Sumner County Regional Water Project.
Is there a second? Okay, there's no second on the amendment, so we'll go back to the original resolution. Any questions or comments anyone may have on it? Anyone? Okay, with none, then we're going to vote on Resolution R2502-5. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say no.
I'm going to abstain.
Okay, so I have 6 people voting in favor, no one voting against, and 1 person not voting. So that concludes the regular agenda and moves now to other business. I should have mentioned at the first of the meeting, I did not, but census. The census authorities really want us to shut the doors by the 22nd of February, which is this Friday. We're hustling as fast as we can. I can't thank Jenna Landstrom and Josh and Rosemary and Rachel, our little census team that has been locked in together for the better part of a week and making great progress. We are now at 48,623. That means we need, Josh and I did this math a little while ago. We need
It's on top.
2,000.
No, 1,300.
Yeah, 1377, sorry. 1377. But we've come a long way since last week. We need any help that we can get. There's still a lot of uncounted apartments in y'all's districts.
Districts 1 and 2 are 100%, I just might mention.
Are they considered? No.
They are.
Three
100%
and
of the
four.
goal,
Three
of the
and
goal.
four are the ones that have a lot of uncounted at this point. Even though they have a lot of numbers, there's still a lot uncounted. But there's people in every district that can be counted.
Excuse me, Mayor. I have a question about that. I had a citizen call me that said they'd gotten their phone number from public utility records. Is that, are we doing everything?
That,
Call people? I
Said
thought we
that-
just used voter rolls.
no, I mean, there's been multiple data sources that have been used. First of all, the GIS, just the property rolls that we have. But, I mean, we've been Googling phone numbers. We've been, Facebook looking, trying to call people, trying to, when there's a former person associated with an address and try and call that person and find out who the new person is with that address. Cross-referencing every data set that we can possibly get access to.
Okay.
So, and like even Councilman Carter's been calling people, the census people have been calling people. I don't know where all the phone numbers come from.
Okay.
Yeah, and I will say, like, my big sister just bought a house in Nexus in the last year or so, and the number, I don't know where that number came from for her, because that's not a number that I've even had. So when I just looked at it, I thought maybe she had changed her number, but that wasn't her number.
Call her anymore?
No. I could call my sister. I could call her, but I was just wondering. I don't know. That number wasn't the right number, so yeah.
A whole lot of data fields and everything that we're looking at. So.
Okay.
But I appreciate the people that have really worked on this. And all the census field workers officially wrapped up last Friday. They had to go on a away party for each other, and now there's a few left working, preparing the data to send to GNRC, who is the agent that validates it. And then we're working to get all the names that we possibly can. Really, really, really wanting to get to that 50,000. The fire department's not been able to help us as much as they did that first week or so because weather has not been cooperative, but we're hoping they find a day after this. Oh, that's where they're going to come from tonight, magically, 1,377 names. I did a ribbon cutting today, and I'm like asking everybody there, have you done the census? Have you done the census? And there was one like family of 6. They were like, we think we did. I'm like, go do it again in case they didn't, because they didn't seem real sure. But everywhere I go.
Also, to that effect, Chief Bandy, just keep your guys where they are. We don't want you guys to step, okay?
Funny thing.
Only this time.
Funny thing. So that's really the only thing I have under other business, just any help anyone can offer at any time of any day, we would appreciate it, because we are so close. I would ask if anybody else has any other business this evening. So,
Mayor, I have a question, since you gave me a new guy card for 2 years,
absolutely.
as I recall. Why do we meet every week?
We've all asked that question at some point. I think the city council being a small body and us not being really too small to have committees, it's been the most, and with us having our own utilities and us, with the projects that we have, it's been the most efficient way to get things done and not, hold people up too long in things that they need to get done. We as a city have a lot more than a lot of cities do, is because we do have the utilities and those kinds of things, and that's the way that it's been done forever. And with this small of a body, a committee system's not going to be very efficient. It would create just as many meetings,
I looked around and no other city our size or even bigger meets more than twice a month. In my mind, number one, I imagine our department heads would vote me Councilman of the Year if they didn't have to come out every Tuesday night. But if we had one planning meeting, work session, and then it was 2 weeks until our council meeting, and we could have that agenda and all the documents a week ahead, where we could really study and do the work that's needed, so that when that work session comes around, we know what's going on, and then we've got 2 more weeks to really study, especially when you have master development plans and annexations and traffic studies and,
Now, they're
hundreds and
typically
hundreds of
going for
pages.
3 or 4 or 5 months. It's not just 2 meetings.
But it's, I feel like it would be a better use of time, and we could adjust all the things that would need adjusted, in my mind, to make it come out the same for council members.
I understand why you
But
feel that way. I don't know that with everybody doing all the things that they're doing, they feel like that they could shift to that groove right now.
I think that, talking about department heads,
Talking about department heads, talking about,
we anonymously poll them.
no, sure you can, but, because some of them it impacts and some of them it doesn't. But just with the planning rhythm, even with hours, because we're spread so thin. I mean, there's no city manager, there's no city administrator, and so to be able to take off what we can, at this, at times, it'd be really hard to get everything done in just 2 meetings for us at this point, so.
These are long meetings, too.
Well, there has been long ones, but there's also recently been, we've been out of here in
Oh,
less
yeah,
than
and
30 minutes.
we've had that for
I know there's been
years.
2-hour ones too.
Yeah,
but
well, we've had that for
I
years.
stuck
where
them
we'll-
out as well.
Yeah, we'll go, months with real short meetings, then we'll have a 3-hour one, and,
I'm just thinking about our department heads, thinking about better use of time.
I think about my use of time.
That's what I meant. I thought about you, Mayor. Make it
Yeah.
easier on you.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
it's always felt like a crazy burden, and other cities are always like, you meet every week? I'm like, I know. Huh?
What does Hendersonville do?
twice a month, and they have a time limit on the meetings too.
They have quite a few committees that meet. They have
One work
a
session.
larger
one
body.
Council meeting.
Body, and they run things a little bit different.
A larger body on the elected official?
We've got 2 per, 2
District.
aldermen per district.
How many districts do they have, 5 or 6?
I think 5, 6, maybe 6. I think they've got 12, 13, 14
I didn't
people.
think there was that large of a city council.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
No, I'm gonna look it
No,
up.
no, let's move on.
No.
Let's move on. We
No,
don't,
it's okay, I'll find out later.
anybody got any other business?
Here you go, try to fix it.
And they have a time limit on the meeting.
You see their faces when I said it?
They have a time limit. The meeting arrive and they stop whatever, and
So, They have like a public safety committee and.
Have 6 districts, 2 each.
Go at large.
The stuff, it's always been done like that. That always kind of bother me because there's probably, people adapt, and I agree with Councilman Alexander. I think I looked at that too. I put all the cities in Tennessee, and I think there is 3 who's doing once a week. People adapt. We have options. I heard, yeah, but if we need to run some money, we can call a special call meeting, and that can be done. The same thing, like I always said, I think it's great for them to be there if they want to be there, but if there's nothing for them, they should not have to be there. They can watch online if they want to stay current, and I'm pretty sure they know exactly what's happening in the city without having to be there. If they have no business during that evening.
But realize some always have business and some never have business, and they are able to flex their schedules as they need to, and some take off when they need to. They're not all here every week. Most of them try to be, most of them want to be, and I'm sure they would love not to have meetings every week, but I also feel like we are responsible for getting business done expeditiously.
Andersonville do business expeditiously. A lot of cities
Still
do
doesn't have
business
very much-
expeditiously.
They don't
It's
have
just a
very much,
matter-
they don't have very much going on either. I mean, think about what they have going through in their city compared to what we do right now. And, I mean, you think?
Yeah, they have a lot going on. So I think we don't even have to change the charters, because the charter, if I remember well, just talk about 1 meeting a month. So it's just.
It's in the municipal code. It's in the municipal code, not in the charter.
So we can change that. That's not, we don't have to go to anywhere else than here. I think we can adapt. That means we
Well,
can
I
look.
wanted to do it about 8 years ago, and when we looked at it then, it was going to be pretty overwhelming to try and accommodate that because of all the things and the way they were scheduled and just what is expected of everybody at certain times throughout the month. And again, with the whole utilities piece and all that we have, all that this body takes responsibility for. A lot of other cities, they don't want to take the responsibility for so many things. You know, if you're willing to give up approval for every grant application and contract and hiring, and I mean, when you just start doing things once a month, it gets really slow.
So contract,
And
we don't
you
have.
talk about, you talk about how slow government moves, it's really going to move slow then.
Contract, we don't give approval to contract except if they pass a certain level, and even there, I think we don't have to.
I can't hear 2 conversations at once.
Grant something. Hiring, we do that when we have to hire a head of department. So that's not every year.
I don't know what you're saying, I'm sorry.
I'm just going to every point you make. And hiring, we don't do hiring. We hire head of department, and it's once in a while. It's not every year. And people will adapt. That's what people do the best. If they know we're meeting twice a month instead of 4 times a month, we'll still get the job done. And I'm pretty sure we'll get the job done more efficiently because people are going to have to adapt and be more efficient on what they're doing.
I don't agree that we'll be more efficient. I do agree that we can adapt, but I don't think that we'll be more efficient.
So why don't we try it?
I think we need to think through rather than just say, let's try it before.
We can't just try it. We have to amend the municipal code. We can't just give it a try. I mean, there's a process we have to follow. So we could, if someone wants to amend the municipal code, then we followed that process and amend the municipal code.
But I think we need to seriously think about how that would work in concert with the planning agendas. Other things that I know that certainly we'd have to take grants out of this because we don't get enough grant notification to be able to approve them once a month, oftentimes.
I think it's Franklin that they have a short work session and then like at 6 o'clock and then at 7 o'clock is their council meeting. It may be on that.
Yeah, but Franklin has a whole bunch of
I understand.
workshops.
What I'm saying is we could, on our work session night, say it was the first Tuesday of the month, just to arbitrarily pick one. We could also have a short council meeting to take care of any of those kind of things.
But
That's a
we'd
good
have to
idea.
give public notice.
But what would your work session then be for your second council meeting?
Well, it would be what you're done on that first meeting at the work session. Those things are going to go to your third Tuesday, let's say.
That is, the other
council
thing is,
meeting.
a lot of cities, you don't require second readings on things. That's another thing that's a difference too.
So if there was a pressing matter, we could approve something at the first and again on the third Tuesday, just picking those dates.
Pressing matter.
Just
you
a thought,
Yeah, you just do a special call meeting, you put at the end of the work session.
Special call meeting's going to take notice too.
what I'm saying, instead of special called, just publish it that way, that, let's say the first Tuesday.
You're going to publish that as everything that's on the work session is getting approved. Then we're going to have people saying, we already have it, saying, why do you draft all your resolutions and ordinances that they're approved? There's something fishy here. I think people, I'm just plain devil's advocate here. I mean, I think there's a way that we can certainly do it, but I just think we need to think about.
Sure, absolutely. That's why I just want to start the conversation.
Sure. I mean, I do think,
And I'd be
a lot of
glad to-
other cities do it that way, and I think there's a way. I think probably department heads need to get together and kind of talk about it and see how it would work.
And when you say changing the city code, how long that take?
It would take 2 readings, because it'd be an ordinance.
2 readings, yeah, just an ordinance.
Yeah,
so-
it'd be, work session and then 2 readings.
Right.
Yep. So it's not a truly long process.
We could start drafting something to give us an option, again. So if we decide to go for it, we could have an option to do,
So you want me to draft something?
no, that's just,
Oh, okay.
that's just an idea to give us, on the code, to give us an option to do.
I think we need to
2 or
look
4.
at what other cities do. I mean, if that's the way this body's leaning, I also don't want, if the body's not leaning that way, for us to do a lot of research and
Yeah, I
spend a
know
lot of
that's
time.
something that several people have wanted and campaigned on, but it's,
Years we've been doing it the way we're doing it now.
Oh, my gosh.
well, that is never a reason to keep doing something, but,
I didn't say it was, I just asked.
no, I know, I mean, longer than I know, I mean, I've been coming to them for 20 years. But it feels overwhelming to me to think about trying to get everything in one work session and one meeting a month.
I agree
It feels
with you.
very
You've
overwhelming.
got 2 weeks to do it, that's what you've got more time.
And if you need help, Mayor, just create a position in the mayor office to have someone helping you. I don't see why we could not do that.
The reason that I have not done that is because I try to save the taxpayers' money. I would have loved to have had that for a lot of years. There's a couple of years that I've tried to fit it in there, but I felt like other positions took precedence to help other departments move further along rather than I feel like I have sacrificed a lot to keep from adding staff in the mayor's office so that it can run without assistance. So yes, I think it would be a great idea to add someone like that, but I also want to be cognizant of what they need and prioritize their needs first.
I think it's worth taking a look at, so.
Yeah, agreed.
That Susan, Councilman
I
Alexander.
think everybody needs to think about it, and I think the department heads need to think about it and talk about it and figure out what things would need to change to accommodate that.
I'll definitely research and see,
And then the
what
whole-
the other cities do. I know several of them do have a lot of committees.
But they also have different rules on how many readings to pass this and that, and I don't know. Because I know I get asked that a lot, like, do y'all have one reading or two readings?
One on resolutions, is that what you were explaining to
We
me?
do one on resolutions and
Two
two
on
on
ordinances.
ordinances.
Okay, thanks.
But for some reason, I feel like other places don't require two on
Some
ordinances.
places require 3. I mean, it's just, it's,
Specific to the
yeah.
place.
Gotcha.
Agree with Councilman Hayes.
What can we do to explore it? Help me. I'm still playing my new card, my new guy card.
Just ask us to research, and I think that,
I mean, I've
if
got
you want to
notes for
research, and
next-
we'll
Is there anything I can
research.
do to
think
help?
The
Work
department
session.
heads need
Let
to
me
get
know.
together.
It's not going to be next work session, actually,
I
'cause
got
that's
you.
next week.
Yeah, I'll be glad to help.
If you already have research that you want to give to me, that would be great.
I have some. I'll send it to you.
That, and I'll talk to other city attorneys and look at their codes, and,
Do we need council approval to do that, or?
I mean, as long as,
I think what Susan said is we need to
Yeah.
make sure that everybody kind of wants to do that before we do it, not just
Yeah,
3
yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah,
and the other
absolutely.
4 don't, so. How's everybody feel about it? We're taking a
Fine
look
with
at?
the way things are.
do you have your microphone on?
I've been doing it so long, I mean, I just haven't even really thought about it.
And I'm fine with the way our meetings are now to meet the first through the fourth Tuesdays of
Well,
each month.
then, why don't you make a motion
Steady.
for us to do the work, for us to move to 2 meetings per month, and let y'all vote on it. Then we can,
Okay, I make a motion that we study, is that right? Study having 2 meetings a month.
Second.
second, motion by Alexander, second by Javance. Any questions, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no.
No.
No?
All right, show of hands, all in favor? Opposed, no, okay. We will study it. It will be a few weeks before I
Thank you.
can put time to it. So, what else, other business, y'all?
Mayor Brown, I just want to say prayers for Mark Kimball's dad passed away
I did not know that, thank you.
Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's very sad. His mother passed away not too long ago. Thank you for letting me know.
He was 90, I think 90, he's 90. Something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago since his mom did. Anyone else with other business? All right, we'll now move to public recognition on non-agenda related items. That means if you're here and you got something you want to bring up that's not on the agenda, now would be your opportunity.
Good evening, council. Matt Harris, I'm the chairman of the Music City Executive Airport, 1001 Airport Road. And I just wanted to extend an invitation for you to save March the 29th on your calendars. We have recently completed a new midfield apron expansion, and we are going to be dedicating that new ramp on the 29th. We'll have some refreshments out. Our state representatives will be in attendance, and be a good chance to see what's happening at the airport. And same with any department heads that want to come. You're more than invited. And also just want to say thank you to your departments, from fire, engineering, codes, and planning, and the utilities have been wonderful to work with and have been very helpful to help the airport accomplish our goals. So I don't have a time yet, but we will send out an invitation to everyone, but just wanted to put it on your radar that on March 29th, we'd be doing a dedication out there. Sorry, thank you.
Hey, I'm Amy Nixon, 531 Carolyn Lane. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm the executive director at Historic Downtown Gallatin. I started in July after Donna Belote retired, and I just wanted to make y'all aware of some upcoming events that we have. We're planning Square Fest right now, which is April 26th from 10 to 5. We have Third Thursday on Main this year from June through September, every third Thursday. So that's June 19th, July 17th, August 21st and September 18th. And we're switching the time a little bit. We're moving from 6:30 to 7 so that we can start sound check a little bit later and not disrupt any businesses. And then we are planning our first fundraiser gala on July 11th. That will be at Emerald Union. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak? All right, seeing no one, you know what time it is.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Councilman Carter, second by Councilman Alexander. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a lovely evening. Take care and be kind. Stay safe in the cold. Good night.